Sorry, y'all was having technical difficulties. Stupid mouse track off. What's up, everybody? I'm Eve with the baby Spooty, and today is crazy. Okay, it's going to be crazy. It's started out crazy already. I'm just saying, it's gonna be crazy. But I'm gonna breathe, and it's gonna be all right. If you are in here and you're coming in a little bit late, please be sure to make sure that you're live because I do intend to do some giveaways tonight. So we are going to talk about Rhinestone Rules, and this is a listen to listen show episode. But we're going to end up doing. Oh, I sound far away. I don't know why I sound far away. The microphone is right here. Let's see. My microphone was not right here. Sorry, I lied. There's my microphone. Sorry. Thank you, honey. I love you. Again, hi, I'm Eve with the baby's booty, and tonight is gonna be crazy. I already said that, but I'm saying it again because see, that's 2 crazies in a row so far. So I'm just saying, buckle up and get ready to ride the crazy roller coaster. Okay. All right. So tonight we're going to do some Rhinestone Rules. All right. Rhinestone Rules. And part of the Rhinestone Rules, we're going to delve into Romeo, which by default will also include Juliet. And I'm going to show you something that hopefully will help you guys get your rhinestone flock to cut properly. Okay. The last time I had Romeo up and tried to cut flock, it wasn't cutting properly. So it's just letting you know we're starting from scratch, so to speak, and we're going to play with some flock and we're going to do some test cutting, and I'm going to show you some things that should hopefully help solve your flock woes. All right. In addition to that, we're going to discuss brushing in rhinestones, only rules, not how to do it or anything like that, but just some FYI things to keep in mind when you're working with rhinestones, because there are a lot of new people that are working with rhinestones, and I want to make sure that this is just as seamless and trouble-free for you as possibly can be. All right. I also am, just FYI, also, I am under the weather. I done caught the crud from the grandbaby. So, or either my daughter. I'm not sure which one I caught the crud from, but either way, I got the crud. I've been living off of Dayquil all day. I felt it coming on late last night. Over in my sleep, I was like, my throat feels scratchy. Oh no! And that's just it been kind of downhill since then. So, not Dayquil because I can't take Dayquil. Quercetin. But anyway, long story short, we're working off of juice, quercetin, ginger ale, chicken noodle soup, the whole 9. So I don't know how long I'm gonna last, but we're gonna try. All right. So let's go in the chat and say hi to the folks who are here. Sorry, my throat. EJ's daughter. Hey, honey, welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member here. Sharon Davenport, always a pleasure to have you here. Welcome and thank you very much for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. We also have Ethel Smith Ames. Hello, my dear. Welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Nicole Reeves, holler. Welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. We got Gail Designs. Welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Sorry about that. Then we got Miss Karen G. Welcome. Valerie Evans. Welcome. We also have Dennis Tito in the house. Welcome. Rosalind McElveen. Welcome. Miss Win 43. Welcome. So Rosalind McElveen, thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. And Rosalind McElveen, thank you very much for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Hi, Sheila Cushenberry. Welcome, my love. Thank you for being here for us. I really always appreciate you. Patricia Johnson, welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. We've got Kristen Cincy. Hey, Kristen, honey, welcome. We got Dempsey Boo. Hey, Demps Designs, welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Then we also have Josette Lovercheck. Welcome and thank you very much for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. And we have Tammy the Bag Lady. Welcome. Thank you very much for being here and for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Patricia Johnson, thank you very much as well for being a YouTube Hoop Group member and welcome. And Monique Johnson. Edie, welcome. And thank you, Edie D. Welcome. And thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. We also have Mylene, Samantha Taylor, Latasha Colquitt. We have Porgy Town, Mary Brown. Welcome to the both of you. And thank you for being both of you YouTube Hoop Group members. And then hi, Teresa Chapman, Beverly Smith, Marlene Kelsey, Keisha Elliott, Nicole Holbrook. Beverly, Marlene, Keisha, and Nicole are all YouTube Hoop Group members, and I am grateful to you. Thank you so very much for your support of our channel. So I'm going to scroll because we do have quite a few things to get into. If you have a new baby or if there's something that you need to ask a question in regards to rhinestones, please go ahead and put it in the chat and it will be brought to my attention, or someone might answer the question for me. You never know. Lady Bear, welcome. Thank you for being in the bushes. We appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. So tonight, she said too lazy to get on the computer. No worries, Kristen. I'm not worried about it. Okay, let's see. Oh, no, not purple hair, but we do have some other fun stuff. So let me ask you guys, do you want to... Oh, thank you very much. I gotta show my shirt, but I can't show the shirt just yet. There's a reason why I can't show the shirt just yet. It depends. So do you guys... Kevin, is that Kevin? I see starred comments. Oh, I was so far behind. Kevin Moore, thank you so much for joining our YouTube Hoop Group channel. I got stuff all over the place. I am so sorry. Let me move this so I can get to this. Holler! Yes, honey. Yes. Thank you so very much, Kevin. And then we got Miss Gail with her member milestone chat of 22 months. Holler! Yes, honey. Yes, thank you, Miss Gail. I appreciate it so very, very much. And your HTV manual press came this week. Lisa, MBA Creative Design. Congratulations. Holler. Yes, honey. Yes. I can't holler, but so much. So sorry about that. Let's see. Did I see another bell? I don't think I did, but I did see star comments. Oh, Patrice got a member milestone chat for 40 months. Holler. Yes, honey. Yes. Thank you, Patrice. I appreciate it. So Emma, Miss Eva have COVID like, ooh, girl, we don't want that. Now I ain't tested nothing. I just woke up and was like, Dayquil, orange juice, stat. And that's how that went. So I don't know what I got going on. Okay. So Mylene says you had a problem cutting flock with the Juliet yesterday. And then we had a couple of other things that were brought up in the two Zoom lives that I was in yesterday. So that's the reason for tonight. And then something else was brought up in Patrice's live. Patrice was actually talking about it. And I was like, you know what? We don't talk about that. Porgy Town, a member for 18 months. Holler. Yes, honey. Yes, thank you so very much, Porgy Town, for being a member of our channel for so long. And Rosalind for 34 months. Holler. Yes, honey. Yes, thank you so very, very much, Miss Rosalind. No worries if your laptop keep turning on and off. No worries. Tell the babies I said hey. So let me ask y'all. Do y'all want to... Okay, spilling the diversity. I got you, fam. Do y'all want to do fun stuff and then do listen, or do y'all want to get through listen, which is the flock stuff and the rhinestone stuff, and then do fun stuff afterwards? Let me know which one you want to do. Time you spilling the diversity got her HTV run hat press. Holler. Yes, honey. Yes, come through with the hats and presses and stuff. And Ty, you've been a member for 62 months. Thank you, Ty. I appreciate it. And Marilyn's been a member for 41 months. Holler. Yes, honey. Yes. Listen, Linda, listen first. Okay, so we got two folks saying listen, Linda, listen first. All right. Valerie got her HTV run hat press. Congratulations. Holler. Yes, honey. Yes. Did it say fun first? Hilarious. That's funny. Nicole said fun first. Sandra says listen to listen first. Take care of business first. Angela says Danny's been a member for 32 months. Yes, honey. Yes. Thank you so very much for being a member for 32 months. And Miss Carol Coleman, hey, honey. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, we'll do listen first, okay? Then what we'll do is we will go and do the fun. But to give you a consolation for those who are like, oh man, I wanted to do fun stuff first, I give you a sneak peek of the fun stuff. All right, but before we get into the fun stuff, let's do a little bit of homework first, and we are going to take you over to let's see, let's get it pulled up. There we go. We are going to share screen and show you what we've got this week. Boop. Let's go here. Boom. All right. So let me share screen. Trigger finger surgery. Okay, Miss Margot. I wish you well with that surgery. I know it's going to go great. It's going to go great. And then you're going to do your part afterwards and everything's going to be great. You're going to heal right on up. I believe it with everything in my heart. Okay, so let's share screen. So this week we have, what's this? 4, 5, 6, 7 designs this week. This, nope, not today. I started to wear it, y'all. I started to wear it because that's just how my throat and my sinus air, all that stuff, that's how I was feeling. But I didn't wear it. So we got several designs that are available, $5 for the next 24 hours. And then after that, the price goes up. So if you're interested in awesome stuff in the mystery box, so definitely check that out if you haven't already, and grab you some Rhinestone Mechanic designs. Now, let us get into homework. But first, let's give y'all a sneak peek. I'm going to sneak peek. I'm going to show you my shirt. And when I show you the shirt, it's a lot of y'all in here that claim to be older. It's a lot of y'all in here that claim to be older. Because see, how old am I? I'm 49. And it's a lot of y'all in here be like, oh, you just a baby. I'm older than you. Blah, 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 blah. I can't tell because y'all got eagle eyes. Y'all got eagle eyes. You see everything. You notice everything. So when I show my shirt, you gonna notice what a sneak peek is. And it's just a sneak peek because this is only part of the whole thing that we're gonna talk about when it's time for fun. Okay. But y'all got eagle eyes. So Tammy the Bag Lady, member for 20 months. Y'all funny. Yes. So I'm gonna show you my shirt. We have Spilling the Diversity in our group on Facebook and here in our chat. Usually she's here, and she created a design for us. Well, for me, well, not for me. She created a design because one of the things that I like to say whenever I make, no, it's not new colors. It's not new colors, fam. No. Because one of the things I like to do when we show our shirt, we used to say shimmy. You know what I'm saying? So she made a shimmy shirt. So I'm going to show it to y'all. Don't come for me because I don't feel good today. For the other eagle eye folks, because y'all got eagle eyes all kind of which ways. But the other eagle eye, don't come for me because I don't feel good today. So, but anyways, here's my shimmy shirt. Shimmy. Ooh, shimmy. Ooh, so here is, it's not going to show up good. Probably because it's washed out. I don't have the light. My son just told me that my light sucks. So I need light to go this way. EJ's daughter, you are a nut. What? Oh my gosh. Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. And light a candle. Okay. So is that sufficient, honey? Okay. You can't even see the colors now, but you see that bling. Holler. You see that. Let me turn this one back on. Yeah, no, that one ain't gonna work. This one, maybe. Okay, so anyways, you at least can see the colors. This is Icy Sky. This is citrine, just regular citrine around the letters. And then this is Crystal AB down at the bottom. So it says shimmy. Because when you say shimmy, ooh. And, you know, Marilyn, like, really needs to wear this shirt. So she's the shimmy queen. But, yes, that's the design. So, I think, let me look and see. I need to make sure her link is in the chat. If not, I will drop it. Let's see. No, it is not. So, still in the diversity. If you will drop your link, I think somebody can approve it and it can post. I'm not sure. Try it for me. Otherwise, email it to me and I'll drop it in before. Okay, thank you. Make it with Marilyn. I started to say something, but it's all right. Thank you, Marilyn. Fat Luck Fat Luck Creations. So, y'all, I have been having a whole lot of fun with a new baby that I have. All right. And it's not really a new baby. It's actually not a new, it's new because I didn't talk to you guys about it, but it is new in the sense of how I'm using it now. And so I've had it for quite a while. This is talking about what fun we're going to get, a little bit of fun that we're going to get into here in a little bit. I've had it for a while. I also bought part of what we're going to talk about tonight for a while. I even talked about it with my captains. So the captains already know what I'm getting into, but I've had it for a while, and it's just crazy to me how this is even a thing and nobody really is talking about it much. I've only seen one, maybe two people, Angie Holden being one for sure. And I didn't even know that Angie had even done a video on this. I didn't even know folks kind of in a way knew about it because for whatever reason it popped up in my Facebook feed a year and some ago, right? And so I took a moment a few months back and invested in it. And yeah, so I'm excited to talk to y'all about that. But we got to do some listening to listen because that's the route we're going to take first. But here is the wrong one. Here's the preview. I got all tatted up for y'all tonight. I'm gonna show y'all my tats. You know, see, look at that bicep. You know, that's that muscle. Don't hate because I pump iron and I got muscles. Yeah, right. So this is my tats. All right, and we're gonna talk about the tats later. We're not gonna talk about them right now, but we are gonna talk about some listening to listen. Okay, so listen, Linda, listen. One of the first things we're going to discuss is flock. Okay, we're going to talk about the flock. It's the elephant in the room, so to speak. And honestly, the flock is actually the first real major hurdle for anyone who is wanting to get into doing rhinestones. Okay, so what I'm going to do is swap us over to let's start with Romeo. Not Romeo. What's his name? Leonardo. Let's start with Leonardo, because one thing that I definitely say all the time, folks just don't listen and they don't do it. So listen, Linda, listen. Come on, fam. Help yourself. I don't care what flock you use. I really don't. I don't care what, well, that's a lie, because it makes sense only for you to use purple because that's the best color on the planet. So why not use purple for that reason alone? But it doesn't matter what flock you use. You're going to have to go through the exact same steps with whatever flock you choose to use. Okay. So let's do a screen share and we're going to take a look into Leonardo and we are going to come up with just a simple old basic bare bones design. Okay. Nothing fancy. Because it just doesn't make sense to do fancy. It just doesn't. Not right now. So we're gonna go with let's see, what can I do tonight? You know what, for the heck of it, we're just gonna make a star. Okay, just for the heck of it. And we don't want it to be too terribly big because you don't want to, this is just right now for a test, but I'll show you what we're going to do with that as well. So here's your star, right? And so we brought this into Leonardo. Now what we're going to do is go to our rhinestone panel, and we are going to turn this into rhinestones. Okay, so build contours and then rhinestones. And if you are unsure of where to find this stuff, just hover on the little bar down here. Okay, hover over the stuff and stuff pops up. That's the one thing I do really super appreciate about Leonardo, which is for the Romeo or the Juliet. But here's the thing. You can use Romeo with any cutter. Did you know that? Did you know that? Who knew that you could use Leonardo, this software, with any cutter? Actually, let's say who didn't know. Just raise your hand if you didn't know that you can use Leonardo with any cutting machine. Did you know that? Did you not know that? You knew it? You knew it? Okay, good. Good deal. The pro version. I apologize, Kristen. You're exactly correct. The pro version, yes, you can. Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate that correction. Okay. Bobby, you said you don't know how to use it. Okay. 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 So you can use this with any cutter. Okay. I'll show you how that works as well. But for right now, here's your star. All right. And we need to turn this into a rhinestone design. So the reason why I wanted to emphasize that you can use this software with any cutter is because it is so user friendly. It really is. Once you learn where things are and how to get to stuff, man, it doesn't make sense. Okay. So I even used it with my tattoos. So that's how cool this is. So here's a star, right? And our goal is to turn this into a rhinestone design and successfully cut it out in flock on Romeo in a way that we don't have to sit there and pick out tons of flock dots. Okay. That's the whole point of what we're going to do tonight. Well, one of the things we're going to talk about and do tonight. Okay. So here's our star. Let's hover. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say. If you come down here and you're hovering, see how I'm hovering down here and it's not showing anything? See how I'm hovering and you're like, well, what's this? What's that? What's behind this? What's it? It's not, you can't do anything because there's nothing here. You got to have something here for this to light up and show you something to do. So that's why. See now how there's something on your canvas space and now your stuff lights up and you can see all the different options of all the different things that you can do. That's one of my perks, like I said, that I absolutely love. Like right here, space objects. You just hover, align left, align center, align right, align top, align center. You know what I'm saying? How hard is that? You just hover and it tells you what you can do. All right, so we're not going to build a contour. We're not going to do a line fill, but we are going to do rhinestones. So here's our rhinestones. And we are not working with SS6. I am not in my SS6 era. So we're going to make this smaller. And I mean bigger. The stone's bigger. And I actually need to make a smaller star. But I'm going to grab right here SS10. Now you have a couple of different options. Right here is what's called linear. So the linear is just straight lines, straight, and then it's kind of like honeycomb. You see how this is straight and then it's slid over just a little bit so that this fits. You know, you see what I'm saying? Hopefully you can tell what I'm talking about. But we can go to fit and fill and we can do border only. Or we can do vector, where it gives you an outline and it fills it in, or you can do fill only. Okay. If you do fill only, you can do the hexagon fill, which is the honeycomb look, or you can do grid, or you can do smart, where it kind of like reads the shape and makes it fit the shape. Okay. Yes, you can get the Leonardo design space without having the Romeo. And you can even, from what I understand, you can even do a trial on it. If I'm not mistaken, I'll check with Patrick on that, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. So here is the star. And this is entirely too big. So let me cancel this. I'm going to make this a lot smaller because we ain't got time for all that. All right. And so now let's go back and we're going to do that again. And I'm just going to hit accept. It's not the best, but that's not the point. The point ain't to make it the best. I just need, actually it is the best. It's the point. Hold on. Let's make this look a little bit better because I just can't. Let's stretch it out this way. And we're going to do, not that one, fill, and we're going to do smart. Smart still looks hard. Let's kill our space. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Spacing vertical. Nope, we don't want that. We need some spacing. So let's go to 10. Go to 10, and I'm going to go with that because I don't have time. Okay, so there's our star. And I'm going to move that one out the way. So this, if you, yikes. So here's our star, right? There's our star. And we want to cut this out. Here's the thing. If you go to cut this out, you got to cut all of this out, not knowing whether or not your flock is going to cut properly or not. Who has time for all that? I don't have time for all that. I'm pretty sure you don't have time for all that either. So what we're going to do, we are going to, what, did I choose SS6 again? Let me look. I don't think I did. Did I? Let me look. Oh, I sure did. That's SS6. Thank you. That's SS10. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you. That's going to look tragic. Trying to make it. You know what? We're going to do a border. Because guess what? That's easier to cut. Woo! All right. So there's our star. I don't know why. Anyway. So as I was saying, thank you for being in the bushes, Smart Creations. As I was saying, like, this isn't that big of a deal to cut out and it not take a long time. But the problem is you still got to cut out a whole, look, that's 4 by almost 4. So that's almost a 4 by 4 piece of flock that you're wasting if it doesn't cut properly. So what we want to do is we want to do a test. And yes, you can do the test cut that comes with the Romeo. But the problem is the test cut that comes with the Romeo, it's like a one little square, and then it's a shirt shape, and then it's a circle inside the shirt shape. And that's good. Not saying that it's not good, but that's not going to apply for our application because I'll show you why. All right. So let's go over to, I'm going to leave this right here and we'll send it to cut here in a little bit. What did I just do? Oh, that's what I did. I didn't do the camera thing. All right. So let's swap us to the other camera. And I was cleaning up and done bumped the camera. So hold on, let's go fix the camera. And let me see if I can get this to work too, because I think this one doesn't work. Hold on. Oh. Oh, getting old, y'all. Getting old. Ta-da-da. All right, you got a Juliet. Congratulations. Where is it? There it is. Congratulations on your Juliet. Holler. Yes, honey. Yes. Congratulations, Miss Nene. That is awesome sauce. Let's see if I can't get this microphone to work, because for some reason some of my mics ain't been working. Let's see. Let's see if we can get this to work. Settings, audio. Boom. Hello, testing. Yep. Holler. Okay, so because this microphone that's on this camera up here is trash. Okay, it's trash. And then I'm also going to connect the other camera. So let me grab that camera so that we can talk. Listen, Linda, listen. There are a lot of things that affect how your rhinestone flock is going to cut. There is a lot of things that affect that. Similar to, hopefully you're familiar with embroidery or even a sewing machine. Actually, let's back it up and go something that everybody for the most part knows. A car. You know that it takes a lot to keep a car running and running in pristine top condition at all times. There's no magic button that you can push that will keep your car running at all times. There's oil. You got to make sure that it's changed all the time. There's your brakes. Your brakes got to be right. Your tires have to be right. Your gas, if you put the wrong gas or you put watered down gas in your tank, all of that factors in. Spark plugs, transmission fluid, all of that factors in to how well your car runs. And unfortunately, some folks, like I was fortunate enough, I'm an only child, and I'm a pawpaw's baby and a daddy's girl. So I was working on cars with my dad and my grandpa, working on lawnmowers and stuff like that. I know how to do a carburetor, clean a carburetor, and lawnmowers and stuff, because that's what we did, and it was fun. I enjoy doing that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of folk that don't know anything about how to change oil. I know how to change my oil. I know how to change brakes. I actually know how to change a caliper for the most part. So it's like you have to, at some point, understand that everything that you're doing, you have to know how this equipment works and what's going to cause you problems and what's not. So listen, Linda, listen. I said a whole lot, but at the end of the day, your mat makes a difference. Your blade makes a difference. Your pressure with your blade makes a difference. This right here makes a difference. Let me get this thing pulled up so that you can see it. Let's do it this way. I'm gonna do it this way. Here's my camera right here, right? Let's zoom in. You see that? This is your cutting strip. On my Graph Tech, this is called a cutting mat. This strip here, see it? This strip right here. If you have a Romeo, if you have a Juliet, if you have I don't care what you have, you're going to have a surface somewhere right in here where this blade is going to come down, and it's going to come down to the center of this, and it's going to cut. But if you look closer at it, look how mine is all nicked up and stuff. You see that? All those nicks are where apparently I was trying to cut, 9 times out of 10, me trying to cut flock without putting it on a mat. So it has cut through to the strip. Now let's come down to this side. Look at how nice and pristine and clean that is on this side, because I don't cut over on this side. I don't normally use this side unless I'm cutting the 24-inch flock, and I don't really cut the 24-inch flock that much. Shay, thank you so very much for your hold Hold on, my thing is in the way. You're a member for 13 months. Holler. Y'all, honey. Yeah. Thank you so very much, Shay. Okay, so Anna Bo, I didn't know that Caesar offered it, but most of the companies that have the cut machines with this strip, you can replace it. So she said that she ordered a replacement strip for right here. Now, when do you not need a replacement strip? When would that be the case? Well, it would be the case if you was using a cutting mat. Okay, does that make sense? Because without a cutting mat, this strip is your cutting mat, and it needs to be nice and smooth and without a bunch of nicks and stuff in it. If this is not nice and smooth without a bunch of nicks, then you need a nice and smooth mat without a bunch of nicks. Does that make sense? Let's talk about it this way. So, say for instance, get your grungiest mat, and you take a regular sheet of notebook paper, right? And then you put your regular sheet of notebook paper on this mat, and I want you to draw and or sketch something on that mat. What's going to happen? I mean, reasoning skills. We got to reason on this kind of stuff. If you go to sketch on something like that, then all of those marks are going to transfer onto the paper from your pencil. Let me see if I can't get one, because that was not cut up. Let's get this one, because this one is cut to Hades, man. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what I was cutting. Let's see where I grabbed the wrong one. There we go. I saw it, but it didn't do right. Let me grab some paper. So I needed to make sense. Because if it doesn't make sense, then it's not going to do us any good, right? I needed to make sense. So here's a mat. Look at how grungy this mat is. Look how grungy that is. So imagine this is your mat, right? And you're trying to get your blade. You telling your blade, dude, I need you to cut. And I need you to cut with, nice and smooth and perfect circles over the top of this grungy mat. And your blade is looking at you like you crazy. It's looking at you like you crazy, because it's like, she want me to cut what? How? Okay, that's what you want? Here, let me get you what you want. All right, I'm trying to find a pencil. Now, out of a zillion things that I have in my studio, I guess pencils just ain't where they used to be. I have not damn pencil in here. That is insane. But you know what I'm saying. I know you know what I'm saying. And I know you get what I'm trying to. I know you picking up what I'm putting down, as Delonda has said. I know you picking up what I'm putting down. You have to, because there's no denying what's going to happen. It's going to transfer. So you don't want to put your cutting your blade under the same kind of stress, because the blade is not going to be able to cut a nice smooth circle. So what's going to happen is it's going to cut in the area in between all of this mess where it is smooth. It'll cut a nice circle, but where like this string is, it'll try to cut a circle, and then it'll leave just a little teeny piece of flock connected to itself, so that when you go to peel that flock, it's going to still be hanging on by a little teeny piece, and it won't cut all the way through. So then when you go to peel, you're mad at the machine saying the machine is not cutting, but you're trying to cut on this. Listen. I got to have a pencil somewhere, because I'm just saying, does it make sense? Does it make sense? Please tell me that. If you've had issues with cutting flock, does this make sense to you on why you probably was having issues with this mat? So you have to make sure that you give your machine a nice smooth surface to cut. Okay. How long does a mat last on average? Miss Evelyn, that depends on how often you're cutting your flock and how you're cutting your flock. So for instance, you can cut you can cut on a mat and use it without the backing. So some people choose to cut their flock and take this off and stick it straight to the mat so that it's sticky against sticky, and cut it so that when they peel it, it'll peel. And if their mat is grungy like this, there's a better chance that even those little circles that are hanging on by a bare thread, if you pull it off and it's sticky to sticky, it's going to hold on even more, and it's going to force those dots off of the thing. Okay. Now, if you are the type to cut and you cut with your backing on, you know, I'll put it this way, it'll last a heck of a long time. But with me, what I generally do is I'll take my mat, go to do something, and one of the things I'll do is drop it. And what happens when you drop a cutting mat? Every single time, what happens? Is so annoying, which is why partially why mine looks like this. It's going to fall face down. And so you're going to get dirt and da on there. Yes, Kristen, it is going to be a mess to clean that off. And we'll show all of that here in a minute. But it is an option. Oh yeah, if you have hair like pet hair is going to get on it. Your hair is going to get on it. It's always going to fall stupid, sticky side down. So make sure, number one, listen, Linda, listen. Rhinestone rule number one, make sure that your mat, your cutting mat, whether it's this mat or whether it's this mat, make sure that whatever surface that your blade is going to come down and cut your circle with, make sure it's a nice smooth surface. Okay. Rule number one, because you need to help yourself, help the machine, help the blade. That's why a lot of times when a person gets a new machine and they go to cut, oh, it's cutting perfect. But then you fast forward a little bit and now it ain't cutting good anymore. That could be why. Okay. So rule number two is to keep your blade good. Okay. I can't pull that out. My hands aren't cooperating with me right now. This cutting blade, I have another one somewhere. Where is it? Wherefore art thou? That's a what's a face blade. I got these too, but it's a creasing and an etch blade. But I also have another housing, so I can show you on mine over here. All right, this is a different machine, different housing, same principle. Okay, so it works the exact same way. Here's our housing, and the housing. Can you see that reflecting, that catching the light, that blade? See how far out that blade is? I don't know how far out that blade is, but when I got my machine from Caesar, they said get a credit card, put the blade up against the side of a credit card. So let's pretend that this is a credit card. You put your blade up against the side of the credit card like so. Let me see if I can't get it to reflect the light again. It ain't want to. There we go. Okay. See how the blade is up against the side of that? And you want, if it's a credit card, you want the tip of this blade to be out as far as the thickness of the credit card. That's what Caesar suggested. Okay. So make sure, rule number two, make sure your blade is set at the right depth. All right. Now that we know the blade is set at the right depth, make sure you got a decent, well, actually, before we even get to that, you got to make sure you got a decent blade too. So if you've been using your blade and you've been cutting flock, 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 and now all of a sudden you go to cut flock and it's not cutting right anymore, it might be time for a new blade. Or you can increase the pressure. But for the starters, if you just got your machine, make sure your blade is at the right depth, okay? So that's right depth is rule number 2. Number 3 is do a test cut. Fam, listen to me. Listen, Linda, listen, Linda. I'm dead serious with this one. I'm not joking. Listen, Linda, seriously. Do a test cut, please, because when I tell you there is nothing more frustrating than to put a whole thing of flock on here. I don't care what color it is, a whole thing of flock, and you done spent 30 minutes waiting on your design to cut out, and you go to peel it and it's nothing there, or you see that it's done tried to cut, but it ain't. That's annoying. It's annoying. Why put yourself through that? Don't put yourself through that. Please don't do that. So this is what I suggest. All right. Here is, let's see if this one has some. Yes. Okay. So for instance, here is a design that I cut out the other day. And you see, I got all of this to the side. Now I did this number right here and threw it away, but that's because I have so much rhinestone flock scraps until I don't have to keep this anymore. But when you go to cut a design, save your scraps. Save your scraps. It's just all you got to do. Grab you some scissors. And when you get your scissors, just cut it off just like this. And then that way you can easily use this on your mat. It's a, what's this? This is a 1-inch strip. You can put a word or something super simple, a few dots going down right here to let it cut all of that so that you can make sure that your stuff is cutting all the way through. So let's play. Here's a decent sized piece that I had left over. So what we're going to do, this mat is not, there's no sticky on this mat whatsoever. So hold on, let me grab a decent mat, because I just got some. Oh, don't want to use that one. I don't want to use that one. But I think I'm going to use that one. It has a little bit of sticky to it, but it's not too terribly sticky. All right. So here is my flock. And what you also can do is, like I see, can you see those gouges right there where I was cutting diamonds? So that's gouged. I don't want to use that. So I'm going to flip this sucker around and come down here to this side where I haven't cut anything. So, you know, utilize the whole mat and, you know, work on trying to get your flock together. Okay. So here's my flock. And I'm going to line this up with, I put a purple thingy to make sure that my thing was at the beginning. Okay. So let's switch, y'all, not switch, but let's get your, let's add a camera. Will it let me? Yeah, it'll let me. Good. Why is my, I hit my camera and didn't know it. Okay. My other camera. Did that work? It did not work. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. Learning StreamYard all over again. Chat. Okay. So let's go over here to the screen. Ooh. All right. So here is our screen. This is Romeo. Now, the same information applies from Romeo to Juliet. It doesn't matter. They both work the same. Okay. Let's see. Why is this the, let's see. Yep, there we go. Okay. So with our cutting settings, I'm going to go into cut settings. Oh, I'm trying to click it with my mouse, y'all. Ooh, Chad, you know I don't feel good. Okay, so right now I'm at a speed of 13, which is against the law of Caesar. Okay, so I turned it down. And then my force is 62. So you can actually get your force up pretty dang high. You can go higher than that. Let me push it up. Okay, so look, I can go 80, 90, 99, 108, 120. So you can go pretty high. So if your cut isn't working at 62, for instance, I'm going to put it back on 62 because the last time I was using it, it wasn't cutting right. Let's go back to 62. Whoops. Okay. So this is my cut settings, and then you can save it. See, that says flop. So you can, once you get your settings, you can actually save it by pressing the download button or what have you. And like I said, there is a test cut feature right there. But the problem is, what I'm trying to make sure you understand is it can cut really good right here, but over here it can cut like trash. Because if the mat is messed up over here or your cutting strip is messed up over here, then it's not going to cut well. Okay. And actually, now that I think about it, I was cutting off of the mat, but we'll see how this works on the mat, because I wasn't cutting on the mat when I was cutting my flock out before. So we'll see how to get this going. Can you do this on your Cricut Maker? Yes, you can cut rhinestone flock on your Cricut Maker as well. Yes. As a matter of fact, Prince is my Cricut Maker, and he cut flock great. I think Delonda likes using her Cricut Maker as well. My Cricut Air 2 also cut very well with the flock. All right, so this just to be sure, and make sure it doesn't slide all over Kingdom Come, I'm gonna add a little bit of assurance, some tape, because this is a used and abused cutting mat. Okay, so let's give it a test and we're gonna see. So remember, my flock is all the way at the top of the mat, right? So let me go over to the I started saying embroidery machine. Yes, I'm gonna tell you how I made the tattoo, Miss Gail. I definitely am. Okay, so let's present, let's share screen. Okay, so now we're back over here, and here's our star. And the star isn't bad. This would take, I don't know how long it'll take. Romeo isn't bad though. Romeo cuts pretty quick. Cricut would take forever. But just for kicks and giggles, we're gonna move this. We're gonna move this. We even gonna move that. And let's put a much smaller shape. Let's get us a square. It's up here, right? We put the mat at the top. So there's a square, and I'm also going to do a circle right here. All right. And so I'm going to make this a rhinestone. We're going to do, did that do the whole thing? Hold on. I didn't need to make sure that did what I needed to do. I didn't pay close enough attention. Okay. Rhinestone size, SS10. Okay. This says outline, but it didn't do an outline. Border only. Okay. There's border only. And let's hit accept. Oh, it did. It's just that the middle is, there we go. And then let's do the square. Let's make sure it's SS10. It is SS10. We're going to do, with this one, we're going to do fill. And I like the grid, so we're going to accept that. All right. And I'm going to move that down, move this out the way, because this is all I want to cut. So this is a whole heck of a lot less to be cutting than, even though this star is probably about the same amount of stuff. But I'm just saying, we're doing a test cut. So when you go to do a test cut, you want small stuff. You don't want big things to do a test, but you do want you know, more, because I usually tell people to cut a grid this size. But let's add something a little bit extra, a little bit further over on another piece, and let's send that to cut, okay? So we're going to send that to the design, all artwork that fits, move each color, and yeah, whatever. Now, we do need to move this, though, because my flock is at the top of the cutting mat, and I want to make sure over here, see over here on this side, peekaboo, hello, over here, cutting properties, I want to make sure it's on cutting mat instead of material roll. I don't want material roll. I want cutting mat. Shay. Oh, no worries, dear. We'll make it pink the next time. Holler. Yes, honey. Yes. Okay. So thank you very much, Miss Shay. We appreciate this super chat. So here is our test. All right. And I'm going to tell it to use the cutter's settings. I don't want to have my thing. But this is a point that I need to make sure you know. I kind of want to do the test cut first. Let's do the test cut first. And then we'll get into something else. But for right now, I'm going to use the cutter settings and I'm going to send to cutter. Okay. We're going to have it to return to the starting position, blah, blah, blah. Yakety schmackety. Okay. So the camera is on the cutter. And there we are off to the races. All right. I'm going to get back over there. And I'm going to see if it cut like it was supposed to. I'm trying to find this while we do that. There we go. All right. Oh, my throat is starting to act ugly. Uh-oh. Is it cutting off? No, it's not. Okay. It's at the very tippity top. Okay. So now it's done. So let us grab the mat. Okay. Now, normally I put a weed box around, but I forgot. So I'm gonna waste a little bit of this flock, but I'll show you that anyway. Bedazzling Designs, thank you so much for becoming a new member. Holler. Yes, honey. Yes. Miss Elba, definitely prayers for you and your family as well. Now, one of the first things I like to check for whenever, let's do it over here. One of the first things I like to check for whenever I cut something out is I want to see if it cut all the way through. All right. And right now I don't see, I'm lying. Look, you can see a little bit of an indentation, but I don't feel anything. It doesn't feel like it actually cut the mat. It's almost like that's just a, what do you call it? Like a transfer, so to speak, of what's a face. So let us peel this. You're welcome, Miss Elba. All right. And look at there. It did what it was supposed to do. I didn't know it was going to do that. Only one dot did not come off. Only one dot didn't come off. Now, why it was acting up the last time I was using it, I don't know. So I'm going to cut this off. And now that we know that it's going to cut, let's do it again. But this time, I'm going to put my bounding boxes. And we're going to cut out something specific, okay? Nope, not even. Thank you. We're trying to make sure that the flock experience is stress-free, fam, because Who wants stress? Not nobody. Okay. So first thing we want to do is make sure that we have a nice smooth surface for our blade to work with. Then we want to make sure we got a good blade and that the blade is out to the depth that it's supposed to be. Then we want to check our settings. All right. Remember what I said about the settings. Patrick said a speed of 10. Do as I say, not as I do. And then I used a force of 62. Now that might work for you. It might not. But if your blade is out the depth of a credit card and it's in the housing like it is supposed to be, make sure that with it in the housing that this black piece is over the top of this ridge so that it's holding that down in place. And then up here, I had to add an extra ring up there to make sure that it was holding tight. But that's a whole different discussion. We can't have that discussion today. All right. And then here is where your flock thing is. But if it had not of peeled all the way, I would have increased the pressure, the force. I would have increased the force by 1. By 1 and made it 63. Karen, is there a way to send a design back through like with Cricut? I hate wasting flock. Should I check from the back before removing? Karen, honey, what I suggest is do a test cut. Do a test cut. There really is not a way to, I mean, you could, if once you take it off this mat, is, and you can check from the back, but checking from the back may not tell you everything, and you could send it through again. But honestly, we need to do test cuts because 9 times out of 10, whatever it is that you've cut and you're trying to cut again has already been taken off of the mat. So if it's been taken off of the mat, then I doubt you'll be able to run that back through again and it actually cuts like it's supposed to. It's just whenever I would do it, it would cut off. It wouldn't cut right. Even with my strip, my purple being here as a guide and that being a guide and using the same mat and trying to lay it right back on the mat the exact same I had it, it's almost impossible to get it to cut exactly on circle as it was before. And unfortunately, that means yes, wasting flock. And have I wasted flock before? Yes. Have I always done a test cut? No. So trust me, I'm preaching. I'm saying do as I say, not as I do. But I do now test cut because I'm sick of wasting. It's annoying. All right, so we did this and it did cut all the way through. But like I said, in the event that it didn't, I would increase by 3. Now, here is the thing. If you increase by 3, let's actually not by 3. If you increase, I don't want to do it because I know what's going to happen. It's going to cut all the way through and that's going to make me mad. But if you increase this pressure and it cuts through to the mat and it leaves the white backing down. Now, this is if you're cutting with the backing on and it leaves these white dots behind. Then, okay, right, Cheryl, if you don't take the flock off, you can press the play button. But like I said, if she is talking about, I doubt very seriously that flock is still sitting on that machine. So, yeah, it's just a lot. But if it cuts all the way through and leaves those white dots, let's talk about something else. Something else that we need to reason on. Reasoning. We need to reason on. And you may not have known it's a part of Cricut. I mean, it's Cricut. Ooh, Father. Romeo, Juliet, and Caesar. Okay, so let's go back to share screen. All right, so say for instance, we cut out our stuff, right? Say for instance, we cut it out. And It just, I don't care what we do. Whenever we cut it, it just does not cut. It does not, when I go to peel the top flock off of the backing, it's just, I'm constantly peeling dots. It's just, I can't, no matter what I do, right? There's something in Caesar that you can try. So let's go over here back to our Leonardo, and we'll hit settings, wrong settings. Yikes. Let's go file. Let's go preferences. Make sure I'm doing this right. Okay. Preferences and settings. Okay. So let me show you again. We're going all the way up to see where my things are lighting up. We're going to go file. And we're going to go preferences. And we're going to go to all preferences. So now that you're in all preferences, this is where you can, make some adjustments to the program. Be careful making adjustments unless you actually know what you're doing. But let's go to cutting settings. Cutting settings. In cutting settings, cutting preferences, there is an inline overcut amount. Use this setting to ensure closed shapes close properly and are not left with a small gap. Use this setting to ensure closed shapes close properly and are not left with a small gap. Listen, Linda, listen. Hang on, y'all. Hold on. Let's get this right. Okay. Let's talk real quick. Oh, sorry. Can't talk with me up in the sky, can you? I'm not up there. Don't plan on going up there. All right. So let's talk. What is overcut? Let's explain what overcut is. This is a label from off of my skein of crochet yarn, but today this is going to be a rhinestone circle. So what happens with cutters in most instances, all cutters actually, in most instances what they do is they'll start here. See where the label comes together right there? We're going to pretend that's the start point. And cutters will, especially if they're on a fast speed, like 13, for instance, the cutter blade, let's pretend this pen is the cutter blade. It'll go all the way around the circle, and then it'll come just to where it started. And then it's moving so fast, it cuts that circle and then goes to the next, cuts that circle and goes to the next. But as it's cutting that circle super fast, in its little cutter mind, it's thinking, I cut a circle. That's what she asked for. It's a circle. She can see a circle. Just because there's a little teeny little itty bitty piece right here that's hanging on that won't let the rest of the flock release those circles, it don't matter. You asked for a circle, honey. That's what you got. Okay, don't come for me. And that's pretty much what Romeo and Juliet is saying, in some or any other cutter, because that's what happened with Graph Tech. Graphy was like, boo, you asked for it, you got it, Toyota. And I was like, bruh, I asked for a complete circle, not a piece of a circle. And Graphy was like, but that's what I gave you, a complete circle. And I was like, bruh, I'm picking flat dots. This ain't cool. We need to do better than this. So in order to get Graphy and now Romeo, what we're going to do is use overcut. This is what overcut does. Overcut tells the machine to start at the starting point, go all the way around, and then go a little bit further past the starting point. That way, Graphy knows Romeo knows and Juliet knows that what you're asking for is a cut out circle, not just a cut circle. Okay. So if you are having some issues with the flock not peeling all the way off cleanly and not leaving those dots, try overcut. Now, when we go to try overcut though, what we want to do is we don't want to do overcut and just, have it just cutting all the way to kingdom come. You know what I'm saying? So we just want to do a little itty bitty overcut. See right here, it says 0.020. We might nudge it up to 0.02. Let's say maybe 0.02. I don't know, 0.3, 0.03 maybe, or 0.025 or something like that. You don't want to just be like, do a whole nother circle, but you do want it to go beyond that. And this is very minuscule. This amount right here is very small. So you can be a little bit generous, but just be careful that sometimes what might happen if you do this overcut too generous, it might cut all the way through the flock, because what it's actually doing, as I showed you with the circle, it's going to cut something that it already cut one time. So it's going to come over here and then it's going to cut over here, which it already cut on that spot. So it might go through to your mat or something like that. So just don't go too crazy with the overcut, but that's what overcut does. It makes sure that the complete circle is cut and there's no little teeny piece hanging on, so that when you go to peel, it doesn't peel. Okay. So that's rhinestone rule number 4, 5, whatever it was. We want to take advantage of our overcut, especially if you have Romeo or Juliet or GravTech, and check in your other software programs to see if they offer overcut. I don't know if Cricut does or not, unfortunately. So I can't answer that question. But if you have made sure that your mat is completely smooth, there's no lint, there's no string, there's no hair, there's no gouges from where you cut through the vinyl too deep, and you got shapes of triangles and all kind of mess behind it. None of that is there. You got a decent blade. You made sure that your blade is out the depth of a credit card, and you started out with a nice decent depth, and you got it on the machine, and you started out speed of 10, not 13 like you saw on my machine, speed of 10. And then you started out with a nice even pressure or force of, let's say, 50, 55. And you're cutting and you're not getting those flock dots to peel. Then what you want to do is you want to increase your force a little bit. So I would say, and depending upon just how bad it is, like if you see the circles and you go to peel and nothing is happening at all, it's just like you can't even pick the dots out without struggling, you need to increase the force a little bit more. So I would go, instead of 0.1, force of 62 to 63, I would do a force of 62 to like 67. Add 5 points or 4 points or something like that. Add a little bit more and then see how it does. But if you are at 55, for instance, and it's peeling like mine was, but just like a little less than half are being stuck in the flock, and the rest peeled out pretty good, but it's just that little bit of section. Make sure that your flock is pressed to the mat good. There's no air bubbles and stuff under the mat, under the flock and all of this, to make sure everything is nice and fresh and flat and blade and nice mat. And you're still having increased by 1. And if you increase by 1 and it's cutting all the way through to your mat, then what that tells me is, okay, let's go and try overcut. Okay. Hopefully that helps you guys with your flock woes. And if one more thing with the listen thing. But overcut is definitely a game changer for those who use Leonardo for their Romeo or their Juliet. Now, in this instance, using overcut settings, of course, that's only going to apply to the Romeo or the Juliet. But if you are using, earlier I mentioned that you can use this software with any cutter. I can take this design because I have the pro version now. Because I have the pro version, I can select that and I can export artwork. Okay. And then I can do selected artwork only, and I can save it as an SVG file, editable, and I can hit save. And I can save it as whatever I want that file to be. And let's say square circle test cut is what I'm gonna name it. Well, then it's gonna save on my computer as square circle test cut, and then I can go into Cricut Design Space if I have a Cricut, and I can upload that square circle test cut into my Cricut Design Space as an SVG, and I can cut it out on my Cricut. But overcut will only apply if you're using the Leonardo or the Juliet. I'm sorry, the Romeo or the Juliet, because what the software is doing is telling the machine to do an overcut. Does that make sense? Now, keep in mind, overcut works if you're using a mat or if you're cutting your flock without a mat. It doesn't matter. Overcut will still work. Okay? Overcut will still work. You just got to make sure, that if you're not cutting with an actual physical mat, there you run the risk you're going to wear down your strip, that little cutting strip on that machine. You're going to wear it down. It's inevitable. There's no getting around that. Okay, so be prepared to have to replace that strip fairly, I don't want to say regularly, because it depends on how often you're cutting flock. If you're not cutting flock a whole heck of a lot, well, then you won't be running that or cutting anything without a mat. If you're not cutting much without a mat, then you're not going to wear that strip down as quickly, as opposed to me, who I'm cutting templates almost 24/7 with my machine. I'm going to wear that strip out a lot faster. So I keep extra strips for my machine on deck. Like, there's a box of 2 sitting over there now, and then another box with 1 left in it because I've already changed 1. I keep 4 on hand, or try to keep 4 on. I try to keep a box of 2 brand new. Let's put it that way, that I haven't opened. So once I change this strip again, I'm going to order another box of 2, because I can't afford to be down because my cutting mat or strip on that machine is scratched up. Okay. So hopefully all of this makes sense for y'all. It was the other thing is another couple of things dealing with the rhinestones for Rhinestone Rules. Keep in mind, because in when I was in one of the Zoom lives yesterday, there was an instance where sometimes they were brushing the stones in. Let's go back to the table actually for this one, because there's a couple of things that could be causing this problem. Where do you order from? Is it an easy process to flip? Can you just flip it to the side? Yes, Evelyn, you can flip it to the side. It's not used so much. Angela, on my graph tech, yes, it's very easy. You just, peel it up and it peels right up, kind of like it's actually not as sticky and hard to pull up. Now with Romeo, I have not tried it yet, so I don't know, but I doubt it's difficult either. Where do you order from? I order my graph tech stuff directly from graph tech. So I didn't know of anywhere else to order my strips from. So yeah. But yes, this side isn't used much. So yes, I could peel it off, flip it, and put the smooth side over here and reapply it over here, as long as the sticky doesn't come off with it. But again, I've never peeled this off before. It's only on my graph tech where I have. Now let's look at one other thing for rhinestones really quickly. And then we'll get to some super fun because it's 10:21. So let's grab rhinestones. There they are. So in the Zoom, there were folks who were having trouble getting rhinestones to stay in the holes and they were getting frustrated, not frustrated really bad, but they were like, I can't get the stones to stay in the holes. There's a couple of things you need to keep in mind when you're doing rhinestoning. Number one, just like you saw when I made the star design, if you noticed in the Leonardo software, and I may need to go back and show that to you actually, but in the Leonardo software for SS10, there were two different size options that you could pick that both said SS10. Why is that the case? Why is there not just one size? Because like in silhouette designs, is silhouette, yeah, silhouette, when we're using that rhinestone design software, there's only one size for SS10, but in Leonardo there's two. Well, the reason for that is because rhinestones come in a range of sizes. It doesn't per standard size. So for instance, SS10 has, let's go look at it, because there's no point in me. We're gonna look at that, but I'm also gonna mention this while I'm standing here. You see I'm brushing in these stones, and some of the holes don't have stones in them. Well, if you put enough rhinestones down and you brush them in firm pressure, they should fall into place in the holes, as long as the holes are the right size. Okay, let's not say that the holes are not the right size just yet, because if you don't have enough stones, then you're going to struggle. Also, see how there are some stones in the bottom of this brush? If there's static and stuff, sometimes these brushes will hold on to stones and not let them go. So these stones that are stuck in the brush will kick stones out, and the stones won't stay in the template. So a lot of times if I see I'm having issues with stones brushing in, then rub it on a static sheet, dryer sheet. Just rub it. Okay. And that static the brush, and it can help you get your stones in easier. But in most instances, this is the issue. Okay, so just check the bottom of your brush, see if there's any under there, and then do it that way. So that's number one. All right, and then number two, let's look at one other thing, because I asked one person in the Zoom, I was like, what stones are you using? And the reason why I asked her that is because I know that, let's see, let's switchy poo, dream cam. Okay. The reason why I asked her that is because I know that my rhinestones, the sizes can range. It's just, that's just the way rhinestones are. So for instance, let's grab this square again. I mean, square, y'all, I'm starting to get tired. My apologies. Let's grab this star, and we're going to go back to the rhinestone thing, and let's look. SS10. See, here's SS10, and notice it says 2.8 and 2.85. So there's a range. And then look, there's even an SS11. That's 3.0. So when you purchase a rhinestone color, for instance, let's say crystal, you purchase a crystal from me, you purchase a crystal from Amazon, you purchase a crystal from B-Land, wherever, I don't care. You purchase the crystal. Well, my size might be 2.8, but Amazon size might be 2.85. Okay. So just keep that in mind, that your rhinestone size is but guess what? They're both SS10. They're both considered SS10. So if a rhinestone design is sized, if the holes are sized and they're like, see how this one says stone size, diameter, and extra padding. If you take this extra padding out, then that stone has to fit in that 2.8 size circle. You see what I'm saying? So if somebody comes and you're getting a stone with that, then the padding is not going to, no padding is not going to help you. The circle is going to be too small. Okay. So just keep that in mind wherever you get your stones from. The size can vary as well. I saw a tip. Where did it go? I had a good bling day yesterday. Templates printed beautifully and the stones brushed in perfectly. Holler. That is always a good thing. Oh, ordering for Juliet, Angela. I would assume Caesar. I don't know though. Rhinestone World has cutting strips. Okay, thank you, Jesse. I'll check the prices because I'd just be like, ooh. Okay. She says she cuts little squares of fabric softener sheets and toss them in your rhinestone box to help reduce static. Holler, that is a good tip. Yes. So every so often I do change my pads on my brushes. I do change my pads on my brushes. Also, that is correct. Dennis has a free stone sizer template on his website that'll help you know what size stones you're working with. So let's see here. Let's go and bring. I'm not sharing screen anymore, am I? Let's share screen. What time is it? 27. Okay. Oh, I am sharing screen. Sweet. Okay, so here's the Rhinestone Mechanic. Go to free designs. And here's the stone sizer template. Okay. Here's the stone sizer template. So this will help you determine, the size of your stones that you're working with. Okay. Design dimensions and stone count, stone sizes are listed on the photo. And that'll help you out. And if you have any other information or any questions about how to use that, ask Dennis now. He's in the chat and he can explain it to you. Okay. And it's for free. Ooh, Kristen. Oh my God. Right. Okay. Right. So yes, you can wear a medium I can get a medium from Walmart, or I can go get a medium from what's that heifer's name? Oh, that my daughter loved her store. Oh gosh, she's right across from the Kate Spade place. I cannot think of her name right now, but all her stuff is skinny folk stuff, and her size 10 is completely different from the size 10 at Walmart. Okay, but you have different generosity based on different clientele, if that makes sense. Okay. So yeah. All right, you guys. So hopefully that was helpful. I'm trying to think and make sure that I didn't forget anything that I wanted to mention in some Rhinestone rules, because there's a lot that can affect how quickly you brush in your templates. It can affect, how easily you brush in your templates. If you use one rhinestone brush and you just can't get your stones to brush in regularly, try a different rhinestone brush. They have them at Lowe's and Home Depot. Sometimes you can find a painter's trim brush. That's what they are called at Lowe's or whatever. We do have them. I also sell replacement heads for ours. Try them out. I also have the bone brush. The bone brush is better suited for SS6 stones than those pads, paint trim brushes. Those are not good for the SS6. They'll get all clumped up in that brush and you will stress. So the bone brush works beautifully for the SS6. So see if you can't grab one of those if you're going to be in your SS6 era. Make sure that your cutting strip on that machine is nice and clean. If it's not, and you like cutting without a cutting mat, then you need to get replacement strips for your machine. Okay. If you like cutting with a mat, then you need to make sure you have nice, clean mats on hand at all times that don't have cuts in them and gouges in them from where you cut all the way through to the mat. You don't want lint or hair or dust or dirt on those mats, when you're cutting your flock, because you want a nice smooth surface. And when you put your flock on the mat, you want to smooth it out. Make sure you ain't got a bunch of air bubbles and stuff like that. To help your machine to cut really nice so that you can get a good clean peel when you go to peel your flock. And another thing is, I avoid peeling straight up. I try to peel off to the side. And I'll have to see if I can't show you that some kind of which way. But I tend to peel that way because that also peels at an angle and allows, allows it to release a little bit better. Okay. All right, so let's have some fun. Yay. All right, we got 30 minutes, 28 minutes to have some fun. So off to my grunge right here, because I'm hardcore, so I'm tatted up. The cool thing that I have found, like I said, I have it's not new to me, but I haven't mentioned it to too many people, but I have a laser printer, right? And one of the things that on my journey, and I'm gonna try and talk really quickly. When I first started, right after embroidery, and I was trying to learn how to design t-shirts and decorate t-shirts, right? One of the things that I came across was a white toner printer. And I was like, ooh, white toner printer, that's the answer. Okay. So when I looked into the white toner printer and I realized, okay, well, you got to print one page and then you got to take the glue page and you got to press the glue page to the printed page. Then you got to peel it apart in order to get your transfer. That's a lot of work. Okay. But then you also have to rasterize the design. You can't do full color, not full color, but like a solid picture. You kind of got to break it up or rasterize it, which puts like some dots and stuff in it to help it not peel and crack and all of that stuff, so that the washability or wearability lasts longer, and that's less than ideal. It was stressful, and then on top of that, that dang old machine was like 7K or something. It was something ridiculous. 6,000, 7,000. It was something, and I was like, they done lost all of their marbles to think that I'm gonna pay that much for a printer, right? I don't care what all they do. Well, let's fast forward. So now here we are, 2025. Those printers are still, if not more expensive, still pricey. But I was on Facebook and I was scrolling Facebook as I often do, and I happened to notice something say ghost toner, and I was like, "What the cuss is a ghost toner?" Well, come to find out, there is a company in the UK, and they sell white toner cartridges for a wide variety of laser printers. You don't have to get the white toner printer, because with a white toner printer, now not all of them, but the the closer to affordable ones. I don't know what super expensive ones do, because I'm not brave enough to even care what they do, because that costs entirely too much for me in my pockets. But the $6,000 ones, $7,000 ones, $8,000 ones, what you do is, even with those, and I don't necessarily, well, I know one is Creo, one is OKI. I forget the name of some of the others, but these are white toner printers. They have laser toner, which the toner ink is like a powder, right? It's in the machine and it heats it up and it applies it to the paper. That's what I use for my invoices and stuff. Well, I found out that I can get a white toner cartridge to fit my HP printer. I don't have to have no white toner printer. And the cartridge fits the printer and it turns it into a white toner printer. The cool thing about laser printers is you don't have to worry about clogs. This is something else we were talking about in Patrice's group last Zoom yesterday. There is no clogging with these machines. No clogging. So I can put in Ghost Toner folks, they sell white toner printers. White toner cartridges. They sell printers too, but they sell white toner cartridges. They sell sublimation toner cartridges. They sell neon color cartridges. All that will fit a regular HP laser printer. And when you're ready to do white toner with my HP printer, I will do the exact same thing that I would have to do with those other lower end printers. You first of all, you got to have RIP software, which is fine, because what the RIP software does is it takes say for instance the picture of McQuacken's, and where it's black, it will lay white behind all of this, so that you'll have white in this image. That's what. So what you would have to do is I would have to print McQuacken's like he is right here first, and then come behind, take the black out, put the white back in, and run this image again, but with it filled in as white, so that the white prints, and I can have a white background thing. That's the exact same thing that a DTF printer does, but with no clogs. No clogs. And I can go from printing white back to black without having to purge anything, without having to do anything. Then I can say, you know what, I feel like doing sublimation. I just finished printing out invoices. Now I need to do a sublimation job. I can take out the regular color cartridges, pop in my sublimation color cartridges, and print sublimation, pop those back out, put in my white toner, print white. It's just it's as simple as popping in and out cartridges. You don't have to flush anything. You don't have to purge anything. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it clogging. You don't have to worry about none of that. It's called Ghost Toner Printer, right? Okay, so in doing the laser, I also years ago, oh my God, you're talking about, ooh, when I first started looking into into this laser, I met I think his name is Michael. I met Magic Touch USA. I met him, ooh, one of the first Graphic Pro Expos I ever went to. If I'm not mistaken, it's the exact same it wasn't Graphics Pro Expo back then, it was the NBM show. And it was dang near 8-9 years ago. And I'm pretty sure his name is Mike. But that's also the same show that I went to, and I learned that you can actually cut rhinestone templates with a Cricut, and you can bling with a regular cutting machine. That started my rhinestone journey. So I kind of kicked laser to the curb and started on the rhinestone journey because I was super excited about the rhinestones, and I knew I couldn't afford the color. I mean, I couldn't afford the laser printer at the time. Okay. So he has paper that works in the rhinestone. I'm sorry, that works in the laser printer, and you can use it. And he has tattoo paper. Okay. So the tattoo paper, I'll show you how that works. It's super neat. Um, and I'm not doing white toner tonight. We'll make a plan to do some stuff with white toner, because I do have my white toner cartridge over there. I did not get any sublimation cartridges because I have a sublimation printer. It's just I'm not one for redundancy. Even though anything could happen to that, but I'm not going to do that. So let's go over to the table and I'll show you my tattoos that I did. Yeah, and Angie, because I started going on I went on YouTube and looked up Ghost Toner, and Angie popped up. And that's when I was like, okay, so Angie knew about it. I don't know why nobody else knew about it. But anyways, it's amazing to me. So I can actually do DTF with that printer. This is the other part. Sorry, I skipped all over this. That laser printer, 9 times out of 10, this particular model is an M454DN. It's a color laser printer. Mine is a color laser printer, and I think I bought this when we first started doing doing the buy-in. So that was say however long ago it's been. I bought it used, and I think I paid for it. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but you can get laser printers around about that price, or I paid $200 for that other color laser printer on MacBid. So there's places, the Devil's Lair, for those who know and heard me talk about MacBid, the Devil's Lair, you can find color laser printers relatively inexpensively. Okay. So check your Facebook Marketplace for color laser printers. This is an HP, but I meant to put the link in the description. I'm gonna have to go back and put it, and I'll put it in my Facebook group for those who are watching now. But they have a page with a long list of printers that you can get white toner cartridges for. Canon, HP, and you can find one of those printers and see if you can't get one instead of paying $7 grand. I'm just saying. So I'm excited because I've been printing white, been doing some paperwork with the white toner, and it's been beautiful. You also can foil. You can do foil with it. You can also do the tattoos. The cool thing about the tattoos, though, is they're basically water slide decals. So you can put them on tumblers, for instance. You can put them on fingernails. So that's what I did here. I was gonna do another one, another set on my nails on these right here. That's why they are white, because none of these have any color behind them. So I wanted to show y'all how that worked. So it's a lot that you can do with that tattoo paper, which is super cool. But I was just playing around and having fun with this, and it actually turned out super cute. And they say that it lasts a good decent amount of time. Of course, it's not permanent, so it ain't gonna last for forever. But just wanted to show y'all that. So let's switch over. There is a place in USA to get it Mama Vibe, but the one that I got it from, I think, was more affordable, even though it's being imported. Well, the UK, I don't think UK was hit with them tariffs, because technically, I don't know. So we'll see. I'll have to look into that. So let's swap cameras really quick, and let's go over to the tattoo paper that I have. And then make sure that you have your screen refreshed, because I have a couple of extra tattoos that I can give away if you would like to get one. Again, it doesn't have to go on your skin. You can actually put it on a cup or something like that. And if I got a cup nearby, I'd show you how that works. Actually, I do have a cup right here. I can put it on and show you. All right, so let me grab this. And let me slide this over and show you. I've been playing with this this white toner thing for a minute, and been having a lot of fun with the possibilities. And there's quite a few projects that I want to do with it, but I hadn't I don't know. I guess I've been sitting on this for a minute, for a good while actually, and I decided to finally show you guys, because I talked to the captains about this a while ago, but I decided to show it to you guys, I guess, because we talked about it in the group last night. So I've had to text my family around, and that was one of the places I sat on the sideline while they shop. Yeah, that devil's lair gets you. Hey, Nene. Thank you, DB. Thank you, Susan. I got them from both places. Okay, good. That's awesome, Mama Bar, because I know because you were talking about the laser printer last night too. So here is the little teeny McQuackins. Matter of fact, I didn't bring it over here. So here is, oh man, I should have printed out one to show y'all first, actually, how it works. But here's the image, and you want to put the image face down, right? And then once you put the image face down, you want to soak it with water. So they suggest like a wet paper towel or whatever, but I found a sponge is actually easier. And so all I'm doing is just pressing against it with this wet sponge, and I'm just going to do it for probably about 20 seconds until I see it lifting. You see it? See how it's lifting away? So that lets me know it's ready to come off. And there I have my duck on my nails. And of course, you cover it with clear polish, and it'll stay on a lot longer than, if you didn't. But here is, I wish I had, I do have time. But let me see, because here's a couple more ducks, because I thought he was just super cute. Okay, so there's a cover on this. Oh my gosh. And I didn't have time, because I wanted to show y'all, I cut this with the Romeo, and it cut perfectly, y'all. Romeo was doing the thing tonight. Romeo was like, you ain't been using me. I know, fam, because, I'm just saying. Okay, so here's another one. Same principle. You can put it on your arm. You even got a minute to reposition it. Okay. Same thing. Just wet it and keep wetting it. Same like the dang tattoos from when we was little. And I understand that you guys, we might be a little bit too old to be fooling with temporary tattoos, but we got grandkids or you know, whatever. So there's my other tat, my wrist tat, without me actually having to go get tatted up and be in pain. Temporary, but long enough for me to have fun with it. And I'm gonna let you guys know how long it lasts, because I'm gonna leave them on, see how long they last, and go from there. Let me print. I'm gonna go ahead and print some and show you, and then we'll do some giveaways. All right, so let us switch to here so that you can see what I'm doing. And then there's Romeo. Yep. Share screen. And then I'm gonna give away and then take some medicine and go my butt to bed. Okay, so here is, see, here's all the tattoo thingies that I was doing. It's already there. I was gonna do the words, but I decided not to. So we'll do some little ones. These are already set. So what you would do is import the picture. So we would go file, we go import, and here's this one. So let's grab this crochet heart with the needle, and I want it to be print and cut. You want it to be print and cut, okay? And then hit next. And what that'll do is it'll go ahead and add the outline. But right now it's just, you know, making sure that your background and all that stuff is what you need it to be. Then we'll hit next, and you'll see in a blue showing you where it's going to cut. You can smooth it out. You can make it, you know, where it cuts out more than what it didn't. Thank you, Sharon Davenport, for the super chat. Holler. Yas, honey. Yas. No, I didn't see a purple. Well, I can do a purple veil. The paper came from Magic Touch, and I probably should have put that link in the description because I don't have like a what's a face with them. And then here's the contour offset. You want to include the, I'm going to include this hole, so I'm going to let that be there. And then I'm going to hit finished, and there it is. Okay, and I'll resize it. And there's a crochet heart. And I'm going to hold down Alt on my keyboard and make another one. Why did that not work? Probably because I didn't let it go. Okay, so there's that one. There's that one. There's 3 ducks. And we're going to hit send design, but I got to put the paper in there. And I'll show you how all of this works. Let me, I'll get you the link to where I purchased the paper. It's not an affiliate link, so you don't have to worry about anything with that. It's just some really cool stuff. And he has more things there. Magic Touch. His stuff is made for the laser printer, so that you can do stuff. So now we're going to hit send design, and it's showing me that all of this is lit up. Let me go out of here and do this. I'm going to put this duck right here. Okay, now let's hit send design. Oh, it's still showing up. Oh, no, hold on. Let me try something and hit send. See how this duck is grayed out now and these two are grayed out? That's because it's not within the printable area. That's because these are not in the printable area. So I got to go back. Let me take him off because I only put him there for that. But it said these two were acting up too. So I'm going to pull them down a little bit. Well, I shouldn't have to pull that in. All right. And the send design again. Send design. And now they're all lit up. So everything should print and everything should do like it's supposed to. Okay. So I'm going to put it on the cutting mat. It's going to put my marks right there. And then I'm going to hit send to printer so that it will print. And then I'm going to select this, which is all of my cutting and then I'm gonna tell it to send to cutter, but I gotta get it set up first. Thank you, Sheila Cushionberry. She put the Magic Touch website. She put that for me because she's bomb.com right now. Okay, so let's switch over to the table. Oh, and let me grab my thing, and let me grab my pack of paper. And I forgot to take that down so that I can see, but it'll be all right. All right, and so now what I'll do is there's a green piece of paper that separates the tattoo paper from the adhesive. So I'm gonna grab a sheet of the adhesive out from the back. All right, and then we're going to glossy side up. We're going to peel this off because this is the glue for the tattoos, okay? So I'm going to show you how this works. As soon as, there we go. All right, and I kind of peel at an angle. See, when I was talking earlier about how I do my flock, and I peel my flock, I don't peel it straight up. I peel it like this at an angle. Okay, so I do my flock the same way as I'm doing this right here. And that kind of helps whatever you got going on to do what it's supposed to do. Okay, so this, you see how it's kind of milky looking a little itty bitty bit? That's glue. All right, that's the tattoo glue. So what we want to do is apply it to the actual image. So let's put this down kind of the same way we do the rhinestone flock. I'm sorry, transfer tape. Ooh, child, I'm running out of steam, y'all. Okay, so once we have this on there, we want to get a squeegee. And we want to squeegee out any air that might be in here. We don't want any air, and we want good adhesion of the glue on here, right? And then we're going to get our cutting mat. And I'm going to put it on the mat just like so. And what you want to do is this point, the bottom pointy part, the blade, you want that blade to fit right inside, right here in this area of those black lines. So I'm going to put my blade and position it where it's sitting right here, where this pin is touching. Okay. It needs to be inside that angle, that corner. All right, so in order to do that, I'm going to use the arrow buttons over here on the screen. Oops. All right. Nope. Come over a little bit. Boom. There we go. All right, so that's good. Now, what I need to do is tell it to, remember I pulled up, let's see. Okay, so here is where it has my outlines. And remember, the blade is positioned right here. So I'm going to tell it to send to cutter. And then send to cutter because I wanted the kiss cut. And now it's over there reading those brackets right here, there. And now it's cutting. It's cutting around it. All right, and I forgot I was supposed to increase the pressure because, as you see, it's not cutting. I want it to cut all the way through so that it pops out like a sticker. So I may have to send you a better cutted one. Better cut it. Can you tell? I need to go there. All right, and so here we go. These are tattoos. So now, yeah, no, it doesn't have to be right in the corner. Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate that. So now you have, let's do this since it's easier and it's right here. Oh no, I done cut off his hat. But when you get it, you're not going to get this one. But when you get it, keep in mind, remember the clear film that I laid and squeegeed over? Yes, like a die cut sticker. Here's that clear film. You want to peel that clear film off of the rest of it so that this releases the glue. And so now this is sticky. See? This is sticky. And this sticky is what's going to be left behind to give you that tattoo. See how you can see there's a film there? That's the sticky of the tattoo. But, you know, from a distance looking at it, McQuackins looks great. He don't look all super shiny like that. So that's how the tattoo works. And like I said, it's a water slide decal. So technically, you can also apply it to items. So like, for instance, let's get a better one. So we're going to peel this. You saw how I put it on my nails. Same thing applies. You can put this on tumblers. You can put it on wood. Put it on all kinds of stuff. Mugs. You can put it on all kinds of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to put that right there. This is just a simple measuring cup. Squeeze out most of the water, but leave some water on there. Okay. Just saturating it. All right. And then as you see, it starts to slide. Just slide it right off. And bloop. Now I have an official Sir McQuackins measuring cup. So that now whenever I measure my food or whatever I'm using this for, which I have no idea what I was using this for because this is not my kitchen measuring cup. But if I wanted it to be, all of my measurements would be officially McQuackins approved. Okay. Okay. And so this, I would not dishwash. If you put this on a tumbler, put epoxy over the top of it to seal it in place. Okay. And that's how you use the one of the few ways that you use the temporary tattoos. They're super neat. They're super neat. Let me do this last nail because that nail looks real cute with the purple behind him. And then we'll do the giveaway. So make sure that your screen is refreshed. And what I'll do is I will cut out some more temporary tattoos and send them to you. The rose and the crochet heart is not mine, so I can't send you that. But I can send you McQuackins. So I'll send you some McQuackins tattoos, and you can do with them as you wish. So, boop. How darling is that? That's darling, darling. Look at that. Super duper cute. With a purple background. Or UV resin. Yes, that is correct. Alrighty, you guys. So thank you for coming to hang out with me tonight with our lessons, our Rhinestone Rules. Hopefully you got them all. If you needed them, let me know if you still have issues. Even after using the overcut, if you're still having issues, let's talk. Okay, and see what else could be going on. It could be your blade holder housing. I don't know. We'll troubleshoot. But when you do your troubleshooting first, is your mat nice and clean? Is your strip, if you're not using the mat, is your strip nice and clean? Is your blade new? Or is it an old blade? Is it in the housing at the right depth? What else did we say? Is it are you doing a test cut? I mean, I'd hate for you to call me and be like, oh, not call, but send me a message and be like, oh, I done cut this whole design out and it didn't cut out right. Why are you cutting out a whole design? Do a test cut first, please. for the love of all that's holy, don't waste your flock. Not this whole big old piece. Just do little teeny strips, because you're going to have flock left over anyway from cutting designs in most instances. So, waste the little scraps. Don't waste your big pieces of flock. Okay. And like I said, no matter what flock you're using, the same applies to all flock. Okay. So thank y'all for coming to hang out. Let's get our what's a face going giveaway tool. And if you would like to get a tattoo, ooh, I almost messed up. If you would like to get a tattoo, let me know. Not let me know. If you would like to get a tattoo, you can roll to get one. Okay. Oh, and yes, and don't forget, check out a shimmy shirt, because of course we need a shimmy. We need to shimmy. Absolutely gorgeous shirt. And like I said, with this one, I used Icy Sky, Citrine, and Crystal AB for the rhinestones. So they're shimmying, looking super awesome. Thank you very much. The supervisor, last time I saw him, he was healing. So hopefully he's doing good. I haven't talked to them. I haven't talked to him today, because he has gotten used to, when we FaceTime, his favorite thing to do is to hit that red button. And so you don't really get to talk to him very long, because he's tired of talking, and he'll hit the red button on you real quick. So, I mean, from what I understand, that's how upper management is. So, whatever. Okay. So let's share screen. And this is the word that we're going to do. And please don't forget to go check out the Rhinestone designs as well over at the Rhinestone Mechanic, because his designs are specially done for us. And they are on a special deal for us, for our group, for 24 hours. So please go check them out. And if you get that not today duck, let me know, because we gonna have a twinning day, and I'm gonna wear my shirt and you gonna wear your shirt, and we just gonna be not today and together. And I'm actually going to do like 4-5 drawings with just this one word. So if you want it, click the link in the description if you win, and you can put your mailing address so that I can ship it to you. So you can just keep putting tattoo if you don't win the first time. If you did win the first time, you can't win again. Nicole Holbrook, congratulations. Holler. Yes, honey. Yes. All right, so let's draw again. Keep putting in tattoo, because it's not going to stop. All righty, and the next one is Faker McFake. Holler. Yes, honey. Yes, congratulations. So definitely click that link in the description and let me know that you won, and put your address, please. City, state, and zip, please. Please. City, state, zip. Okay. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. That's how important it is to have. Listen, Linda. Listen. City, state, zip. How am I going to know how to send it to you? Okay. You got 2 days. You got till Tuesday to send me this information, so that we can get this out to you. Okay, one more. Come on. We got 3 more drawings to do. 3 more drawings to do. Your way, Willis. Holler. Yes, honey. Yes. Congratulations. Right. Know your address. All right. Roll it again. Please be sure to click that link and fill out the information. Otherwise, I'm not sending it out. All right, Lily Boone, holler. Yes, honey. Yes. Y'all gonna be tatted up. Well, maybe not be tatted up. I don't know what y'all gonna do with it, but all right, let's draw again. And just for the heck of it, I'm gonna do one more. Latasha Colquitt, holler. Yes, honey. Yes. Okay. And one more just because I'm getting ready to go to bed. We're gonna do one more because I'm going to bed. Oh Lord. And we've got Soaking Rays. Holler. Y'all Soaking Rays. Congratulations. Congratulations to everyone who entered and got them a temporary tattoo. And if you do tat yourself up, let me know. I'd love to see it. So don't put it on skin that wrinklies, like all this fat flap that I got back. Yeah, don't. This is not the place to put it because it will wrinkly. So put it on a nice smooth surface. You see how good that one looks? He's not all cracked up and stuff, but down here where I bend and twist my wrist and stuff, he's starting to crack up a little bit. So don't put him on flexible areas. Put him on non-flexible areas, okay? If you choose to do that. All right, you guys, I'm getting ready to head off because I need to rest because I'm getting cold. So I know my medicine is wearing off and I need another cough drop. So thank y'all for coming to hang out. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out Rhinestone Mechanic. Don't forget to check out Spilling the Diversity for your shimmy design. Thank you, Sheila, for putting the Magic Touch link in the chat. I'm going to drop it in the description. I'm also supposed to put what else in the description. I can't remember. Hopefully I'll remember and put it in the description. Worst case scenario, I'll put it in the Facebook group. Okay. Oh, it was something about the compatible printers. So thank y'all for coming to hang out, and I look forward to seeing y'all next Sunday. And until the next time we see you all, we hope you have happy crafting. Y'all have a good night. Bye.